Hi, today we're going to work on something super important. It's our very first stance. It's called Wuji. Yeah, we're going to have some fun. The first stance, although seeming very easy, is one of the most difficult to first understand. This one is called Wuji. Wuji means emptiness. Emptiness means that we have ultimate potential to move into the next stance. In our Wuji stance, we're going to start with 1 foot distance, just outside of 1 foot distance. That way your feet are just outside of your hips. Alignment of the legs. From here, we're going to extend up and then we tuck our hip forward. The easiest way to tuck your hip forward is by bending the knees. That causes the spine to start to elongate from the lower portion. This automatically causes the hip to start to tuck forward here. If I'm at a sideways position here, I'm up straight, I elongate my spine. From here, if I bend my knees, my hip will naturally start to tuck, creating this flatness on the lower back. From upright position, hip tucked position. From here, I want to elongate my spine all the way up through each vertebrae, through the back, all the way up to the top of my crown, the crown chakra right here. And I imagine that there is a string pulling up from the crown chakra up into the universe, holding my head up suspended. There's a little point on the back of the neck that should be raised up too. Let me show you from the rear. I tuck my hip by bending my knees and tucking my hip forward here. Hips move forward. Then I elongate the spine all the way up to the crown chakra, suspending my head. Now I'm going to round my shoulders, creating the roundness in my back. To round our shoulders, we suck into our center here, into our heart chakra here. This causes the chest to round forward, rounding around the back. We also want to pretend like there's a little cup here in our shoulders, so when we round, the shoulders turn forward. The hand is going to turn forward here. This motion of rotating will rotate the shoulder forward, help creating a circle here. A little dip into the... Now the palms are going to be at the hips, or I'm sorry, the thighs, off the thigh here. And then it's also going to make a small circle with the arm coming up to the collarbone here. Make a small circle here. Now when we hit this posture, this is considered Wuji, emptiness. We should be concentrating on breathing down to our dantian, which is our navel, 2 inches behind it and 2 inches below, down here. As we breathe and have that connection all the way through, this will help our chi flow, which we'll talk about later on. Don't worry too much about chi flow or anything like that right now. Just working on the posture. Good. There's one other way that you can try to get to Wuji, which is a very active way to do it. Instead of just standing here and then dropping into Wuji, which might be hard at first as you're first starting to practice, you can start from a bended position. Say you're reaching over and touching your toes here with the arms nice and loose here. I bend my back and I bend my knees. I'm going to show this twice. I'm going to show it once facing you and then once from the side. From here, I'm going to slowly start straightening starting at the hips, rolling up my spine, keeping the curve in my shoulders, and then extending up through the crown chakra. I'll show you again from the side so you can see what's happening all the way from the bottom up. Get my feet into the proper position. I'm going to start by bending. From here, I bend my ankles to my knees, causing my hip to move forward a little bit. Now I start to expand up, first at the hips, expanding up, raising up, extending through the spine, where the string is holding me up. Almost like I'm sitting in a chair, but my skeleton is held up by my expansion. So those are two ways to find Wuji, which is a very important stance for you to learn. That was quite a bit, so we're going to go ahead and end the lesson here. Wuji is a very distinct feeling and very important stance to find. Whenever we start our form, the first movement we move into is Wuji. From there, you have eternal potential to move into any other stance, any other posture, any other strike, any other energy. It's ultimate potential. So don't worry too much about the theory of it. Right now, just find the posture. And that's a good thing to focus on, just finding Wuji. All right, well, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Go ahead, stand straight. Out here. I'll see you in the next lesson.